I've done hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales for my clothing brand online, and I didn't just have some viral post. I didn't start with a huge network of influencers and celebrities, and I didn't even have an amazing brand idea. All that I did was fail over and over again, working through the challenges of starting up a brand and problem solving my way to $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and $70,000 a month in sales. Today, you'll learn 8 things that you should never do when you start up a brand that nearly ended my reign as an entrepreneur, plus other gems along the way. I hope you enjoy. The first thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand is start a brand that you can't clearly define yourself. If I ask you right now, what's your brand concept all about? What's your brand all about? And you can't give me a clear answer in a simple sentence like, my clothing brand represents rural Canada, or my clothing brand helps people with pain relief in their neck, back, and shoulders, something that simple and that clear, then don't start up your brand yet. I learned this lesson the hard way when I started up my first brand, K-Bud. Originally, our brand concept was representing the raw attitude of authentic Canadians, and it just didn't really make much sense. We couldn't really clearly define what the brand was all about. Then we discovered that K-Bud really came out of this slang in rural Canada, and it became just representing rural Canada, everybody living in rural Canada and the lifestyle around it. And just through getting clearer on the brand concept and exactly who we're selling to, helped us like crazy when it came to designing our website, coming out with social media content, getting in front of our target audience, and finding our target audience. So you're really gonna struggle with your brand if you can't clearly put into words exactly what your brand stands for and who you are and what your brand's all about. The second thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand is order more than the bare minimum that you need to launch your brand before you've tested it in the market. A lot of clothing brand owners get so hyped up on their brand idea and they believe in it fully. They just think, I need to order 1,000 units to get started. And when I do that, I know I'm gonna sell out and I'll even be able to get my cost per unit down. But this is one of the biggest traps that clothing brands fall into. They haven't tested their products in the market. They don't truly know if the market's gonna respond to it in the way that they want them to. And a lot of times you overinvest in inventory, you pigeon yourself with way too much inventory because you believed in it too much, and now you're not flexible to release other products because you overinvested in your inventory. So for your brand that's just starting up, only order the minimum order quantity from your manufacturer to get started. If you sell through it, now you're sold out, it creates scarcity on your website, and you can always place an order for more. The third thing that you should never do if you're starting up a clothing brand is work with a sketchy or untrustworthy supplier or manufacturer. This is something that I've experienced so many times on my journey. For some reason in this clothing space, there are so many sketchy apparel suppliers and manufacturers out there. So what happens a lot of times is a lot of brands will reach out to a manufacturer and they get some sketchy response about price or turnaround times, and they go, oh, well, screw it. You know, I found somebody, I want to work with them. And then 3 months go by and you haven't received your clothing yet, even though they told you you'd get it within a week. Or when they send you the bill, there's all these hidden costs that they didn't tell you about that now you need to pay. And I've just dealt with this so many times over the past 9 years running my brands that anytime I even get this sense, like my spider senses are tingling, that something's off with the manufacturer that I'm working with, I just say, screw it, dropping these people and going to work with somebody that actually communicates well, where they answer your phone calls, there's everything clear is laid out for you, and there's somebody that you can build a relationship with to build your brand with you. Before I share with you 5 more things that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand, Apparel Success is sponsored by my buds over at design.com. If you're not a designer yourself, yet you've got the vision for it, this is absolutely perfect for you. Just go to design.com/apparel success. Use the AI logo generator tool. Type in whatever that amazing idea is for your design and hit generate. Thousands of logos and designs are gonna pop up that you can edit and refine for free as long as you want until it's perfect. Play around with this as long as you want for free at design.com/apparel success. And if you like what you make, you'll get up to 88% off at checkout. Back at it here, the fourth thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand is release designs that you're not proud of. Never release a design that you wouldn't wear yourself that you're not 10 out of 10 stoked about. If you design 10 designs for your brand to get started and 2 or 3 of them you're just not sure about, you just don't feel that good about, and they're not designs that you'd truly be excited to wear, then don't release them. Only ever come out with designs that you're proud of, that make you feel amazing. It's gonna give you so much more confidence when you go to market it. And honestly, usually your intuition's pretty right about that. The fifth thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand is assume that social media will do all the selling for you. Social media is an amazing tool, but it's not magic. And all of the success that you're able to get on social media is going to come down to your strategic ability on social media. And what I mean by this is that simply just posting on social media isn't good enough. There's such thing as good content, there's such thing as bad content, and you want to be posting with a purpose. A pretty Instagram account won't just magically translate to sales. You need customer engagement, you need strategic campaigns, you need stories, giveaways, influencers, and all of this needs to be well thought out based on your specific target audience. The sixth thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand that is so easy to do is disregard the post-purchase experience. The customer journey doesn't end just because they clicked buy. Your post-purchase experience after somebody buys should be just as thoughtful as your marketing to secure them as buyers. The thank you emails that you're sending out, the order tracking, the customer support, the follow-ups, all of the things that go into your customer's experience after they buy, like the unboxing experience and how you're treating them, is so important to not only maintaining them as future customers, but developing them as future marketers for your brand. Because if they truly have an amazing experience, then they're gonna go tell all their friends about it. They might write a review on your website. They may make a post that you can share on your Instagram. And it's the accumulation of all this that's amazing. So every single touch point along your customer journey, not just before the purchase, but after the purchase, is so important. The seventh thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand is ignore or neglect direct messages on Instagram or emails that you're getting from people inquiring about your brand. This is something that I've fallen into, to be completely honest with you, with my old brand K-Bud. I'd have messages coming in all the time and I just got overwhelmed. I just didn't feel like answering them. But you can't do that as a brand owner. And it's so important to get back to people quickly and answer their questions well, because every single one of these experiences that people are having with your brand could potentially build your reputation or hurt your reputation, and you definitely don't want to hurt it. And the eighth thing that you should never do when you start up a clothing brand is never respond negatively to hate comments that you're getting for your brand, whether it's inside of your ads or on your organic posts on TikTok or on social media. There's going to be hate. For some reason in 2025, everybody's hating. It's like this big thing where everybody just loves to type in hate messages, and it's like really, really easy for people to do that. But as a clothing brand owner, you cannot respond and just get all sucked into that. The best response that you can have to haters is literally just ignoring them or writing back like a super positive message. Anytime I get negative comments on my YouTube channel, I literally just write back like, yeah, man, thanks for the comment, appreciate it. And then I just go on with my life. I don't stop doing what I'm doing. It doesn't affect me whatsoever, and it shouldn't affect you either, but just don't respond to it negatively publicly, because it could hurt your reputation like crazy. Let me know in the comments if you've done any of these things already. What's your experience with this and which one was your favorite? Also, if you want to work with me and a community of other clothing brand owners, check out apparelsuccessmastermind.com, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.